Hey everyone, it's me, Cube83.
And Barbee0913.
And we went to the Chicago Toy and Game Fair, also known as chiTAG.
We did!
Yes. We've gone in past years, and so we wanted to just give you a rundown on what happened, what we thought, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's on its 15th year, so yay for chiTAG.
Yeah.
And every year it kind of changes.
It's a little different each year.
So we're not quite sure how exactly to start this, because it wasn't like the best event we've ever gone to.
No.
So this might be a short video.
Yeah.
It's an event. Well, explain kind of how the event is set up.
Well, it's set up just like a toy fair would be, where everybody has a booth and they show you their new wares, and then you get to go and try and play it, or if it's a game, you get to learn how to play the game. Lots of game vendors were there. And the major part of it is kids that create their own games, and then they have their own booths on the other end, and then they get judged, and they get to talk to people from Hasbro and Mattel and all the other companies, game companies, and maybe their game will get picked and they get to be their own inventor. You know?
It's a Young Inventors Challenge, and I think there was a Young Engineering Challenge too. So if you're in the area and you know of a child that designs games, that sort of thing, this is a really fun event for that aspect of it.
It's really good for that.
I wish I had known about it I wish it was like a thing when I was eligible to participate, because I would have totally done it.
Schools used to have you make up your own game, though. I remember that. Your brother did, or you did, and you had to create a whole thing with rules and what kind of game.
But how much cooler is it if you could go to an actual show and try to win a prize?
Right, right. Scholarship.
So that is one aspect of it, and it's more for you people to like play with the products versus just see them.
Right. When we walked in, I was really underwhelmed. They usually have one big item in the room. I did like that. The big item happened to be Soggy Doggy in a big giant version where little kids got to play with it and get soaked by it. I thought that was adorable because as far as games that have come out that I've heard of, I thought that one was a cool game.
Yeah.
And instead of everybody telling me, oh, you're just going to get wet, it's going to make a mess, who cares? You put it on a table, you put it on the floor, you put a mat underneath, and you play it, and the little dog's going to soak you. Who cares? But it's an adorable game.
That was really cool, and that was courtesy of Spin Master.
Spin Master. But as far as things that Spin Master might have brought, they only brought the big giant Soggy Doggy, and I had a table with 3 little games on it, 3 different types of games.
Yeah, it was much less than they do. Normally they're a sponsor, and I didn't see their logo attached as a sponsor this year.
Right.
So I don't know what that has to deal with it, because I expected Spin Master to maybe have like a little nursery for Bella, like let people see their $100 robot baby so they can actually experience it.
And some vendors, some of the bigger vendors, when we first went there, they would have a booth there that you could go and buy stuff. So you could buy your Christmas gifts already. If you saw something you thought, oh, this is great, my kids are going to love it, get it there before it sold out in the stores.
Yeah.
And you had some people that were still selling their wares, but not like the big ones that are probably on your kids' Christmas list.
Not the big brand names. It was the smaller vendors who are independent, who obviously need to get their product in front of people to sell it, that were selling things. But like Spin Master didn't have a store. Lego was there. Lego was selling some of their kits, but that was pretty much it. Mattel Games.
Mattel Games, and which is a different logo and everything, and they didn't bring any doll stuff.
No.
Only games. And I understand they do like a game kind of convention, a toy convention, where all the bigwigs go and they have meetings and stuff and tell about their businesses and how well they're doing and everything. But I'm going to give you this list of names of people that were there, but take into consideration that not one of them sold dolls. So for us, that was a real bummer. I like seeing the games too, because I used to buy games for where I used to work for. So I love looking at the games too, but I still wanted to see dolls. So.
Usually there's at least one, or it's never heavy on dolls, ever. But usually there's 1 or 2 that kind of fall in that market, whether it's a paper doll or something like that. We're 0.
0. We had Princess Etch-a-Sketch came selling her wares, Play Monster, Peg Perego, which they make like cars and stuff for kids to
like John Deere
drive on.
rideables.
The John Deere, yeah. University Games. You have small companies like Science and Industry. You had pediatricians come or dentists come and say, hey, make a game, brush your teeth.
Goliath Games was there.
Who else?
There was also some smaller, like not Lego, like companies, but building companies that make bricks that look like Legos.
Okay, this is interesting. Where did we see the drop mix?
We didn't see drop mix. That would have been Hasbro that
Right,
went there.
it says Hasbro.
Hasbro was supposed to be showing off apparently drop mix. Because it says Hasbro drop mix here.
Yeah.
But if you looked at the program booklet, Hasbro was like supposed to be right in front of Lego, and that booth was totally empty all of Saturday.
Yeah.
So, like, I even took a picture on Instagram of the empty booth, like, saying Hasbro's running late.
So they were. That's what they were supposed to bring.
Which
and
stinks, because I want to see how that game works. Like, that's like one of the few video type-esque games that I'm interested in, is that stupid drop mix game. I want to see what it
Hasbro,
does.
where were you?
Yeah, seriously, I want to see it.
Goliath, Green Toys,
Groovy Blocks, E-Blocks.
Light Pong, Magformers, Mattel there.
That's Mattel Games.
That's the Mattel games.
Yeah. Spin Masters, Giant Soggy Doggy. There's not a lot of names that you probably would have heard of as far as companies go.
Top Trumps.
Top Trumps, they were there.
A sponsor.
They were sponsors.
Top Trumps is there every year, and they give you a lot of free card sets, which we have some Top Trumps right on the table.
Yeah. One of my favorites from the show was the Flower Fairy Secret Garden. That was as close as I found to something that would be like blog worthy.
Right, and that's basically a figurine.
Basically,
in a plant.
They're adorable fairy figurines. Super cute, super detailed. Kind of like an Anne Geddes sort of picture come to life. But they're Flower Fairy Secret Garden, and they're figurines that you can set up however you want to. And they're just super cute. And it was the only thing that I was like, oh, I like that.
Right.
So I handed them my card, so we'll see if we can get anything for the channel for it.
I like the Casino in a Box. Yes,
cool.
It's more for grown-ups, but actually you could teach your kids how to play
Family
roulette.
game night.
We used to have family game night growing up, and we played with the little roulette wheel and casino. It is really a nice box. The felt on it is really nice. It's really supreme, and that was by University Games. And
It was nice.
It was like $100, I think. And they sell it on Amazon.com and RUGame.com. But it was really nicely made. I could show you. This is what it looks like.
And it was, so it's a box, and so you can put all the pieces in there. You could put it under your bed when you don't need it out.
Yeah.
It was just really nice, high quality.
It comes with chips. It comes with the cards. It was just a really nice executive kind of box.
It was nice. It was a throwback to the 50s. I thought it was quite cool.
Yeah. And I like the garden fairies that she's talking about too. They were cute, but you have to buy each piece individually.
It can be very expensive.
Anything that is good is always costly.
Exactly.
It is also a show that is geared if you have a special needs child, autistic. They do show you things that you can play with them. Just more things, more tangible.
Yeah, like manipulative type stuff. See, this is the one problem I had with this year, is I'm trying to think of like things I really liked that I saw on the showroom floor.
Yeah.
And literally, I can only think of one. I mean, there's other ones, like the Merge Cube, which I'll talk about in a sec. That's a cool toy.
It is.
But literally, I can only think of maybe a handful of things that I was like, oh, I want to remember this.
Right. And even manipulatives. I usually look for manipulatives because I used to do that for my job too. Just looking for them, there were very few. There were a couple building block sets, but as far as geometric kind of things, I saw maybe 2. You had a lot more blocks that you put lights in. Different. This vendor had a certain way of doing it, and then the next vendor had a different way of doing it. So they were able to make lighted blocks, like a Lego block.
Right.
Which those were cool.
And that's playing on the whole STEM thing. So that's great, and I'm sure like libraries and schools, classrooms might get a huge kick out of that. And it was neat.
I mean, like right here, right now on Instagram, Spin Master is showing that the Build-A-Bear workshop. That you could make a little Build-A-Bear and put the fluff in it and everything. Why weren't they there showing it?
Although this is, I mean, I have to remember back to last year where Spin Master just had like 3 toys on a table with a volunteer who did not care to be there. So we went to, as part of this, a media breakfast, or it's a media lunch. It used to be media breakfast. The lunch was themed around Star Wars. Usually this is like a paid event for non-media people. But this year they turned it into just a media thing. So totally awesome because it's always fun to eat when you know stormtroopers are wandering around. But there were also some samples on the table that we could take with us in hopes that we show them off on our channels and blogs and stuff. So that's what we'll do.
Top Trumps is always a sponsor, and they always, even at the breakfast, have lots of card sets for us to pick up and take for free, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And this is another thing that I think is different. They also have activity cards now, also for younger kids. So this is Peppa Pig, and it comes with a crayon, and I haven't opened it yet, but I guess they're different activities, which might be more my style.
And then they also have these lunchbox sort of kits, and they're the same sort of activity game with the marker in this cute little tin, which you could then use as like a lunchbox.
Right. And those are all popular characters. Paw Patrol, Shopkins.
They had another one that I don't remember. It might have been Peppa.
They had a Peppa box.
I think there was a Peppa box.
Oh, it was gone by the time I went up there. It was sad.
Oh, the Girl Scouts were there, so I grabbed my Girl Scout alumna pin. Proud Girl Scout here.
This is another.
So I got that. Oh, and this was cool. It's a Top Trumps. It's essentially one of these card sets in this globe.
2 boxes of this, 2 sets.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's more.
They all fit inside this little collectible globe thing.
Right.
So that was fun. Lego was handing out this little ghost make it, take it. So. Ooh. Oh, and there were a lot of laser cut toys. So ones that if you had a laser cutter, you could totally do. But like essentially it was like laser cut pieces, and then you can build trains or
really intricate. Things. He had a guitar, like a little ukulele that had a music box in it. It was adorable.
U-Gears was that company, and they had some awesome stuff. And then at that media lunch as well, they gave us this thing called the Merge Cube. So the Merge Cube is like a VR, AR, augmented reality sort of experience. You can use it with their VR glasses that they sell, and it's kind of cool because the VR glasses are made of like a foamy sort of material, and they were affordable. And then this cube is also made of like that same sort of foam, but you don't need glasses to use this. This cube will work, it will do augmented reality with something like a tablet or a phone, so you don't need to wear the headset to make things pop out.
And you just hold it in your hand and suddenly that cube turns into something else. It's very cool.
It really is neat. Like, it's one of those like, wow, how did they figure this out sort of things. So we'll do a video on this because I think it's cool.
Another thing we got, everyone at a table got something that was Star Wars related. And this is the Force Link starter set. So it apparently, you wear it and it you use it with the other Force Link figures and they can say more things. Motion activated, activates every Force Link figure, activates the lights and sounds on the vehicles. So this is kind of cool. I can't wait to open that up and try it.
Yeah, that is neat. So these were just sitting on the tables at the media lunch.
And then they had a Simon, a Star Wars Simon, and a Monopoly, Star Wars Monopoly.
Yes. And then they had a bunch of balloon R2-D2s that like lined the actual event. And at the end of the event, like they said, you could take one home. And before he finished the sentence, practically, like, the R2s were gone.
Right.
They were claimed.
They were claimed.
We did not take one home because that would have been a really weird train buddy to take home. And I have one sitting in my closet.
You do.
Waiting
Then we
for,
folded it all up because you
air.
wanted to re-put air in it. But I highly recommend 18-inch doll people that your manufacturers come to the show so there are dolls. People like dolls too. We can't just have everything be a phone or a tablet sense. I mean, there was a lot of that. They had that little ball thing. And you use your tablet to move it around. Let's get some real tangible dolls.
Right, let's get some more dolls there because that is, I mean, it's a toy. I don't understand why some of these vendors ignore it. Like, why wouldn't Mattel bring American Girl
And
or something?
if you're a smaller company, you know, just send one person to man your booth, but send some stuff out there and get more, you know, exposure.
Yeah, there's just so many lines that are out there, like Dolls from Heaven or Maru and Friends. Like, bring their, you know, companies in the United States, bring your dolls here, introduce them to some of these families in Chicago.
Right, because these are families. These are families. These are Girl Scout troops, Boy Scout troops. They're all going in there. They're all looking for the inventor stuff, but be there so they can see it. I mean, the biggest draw there, I think, is the kids that do the yo-yo championships.
Yeah, which is super cool because they're all very talented.
Bunch of guys and gals all in their little corner of a room, all doing their tricks and getting ready for that time on stage where they can show off.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and I think it's a really neat part, and they do sell the yo-yos there. But, you know, go out there because there's a lot of young people.
Yeah, so hopefully next year there's some more, you know, variety in the companies that are there.
Yeah.
I get it, it's toy and game fair, but it's like 90% games.
Right.
And like 10% STEM sort of building toys and electronic sort of app toys. So bring in some of the more traditional stuff.
A lot of card games. A lot of different people make games out of cards. We did play one that was really kind of fun.
The food, it's like a food truck wars or something, but it's a food truck card game.
That was fun.
That was fun. Everyone wants to imagine owning a food truck one day. Right? Like, I can't be the only one that doesn't cook but wants to, you know, experience owning a food truck. So there was a fun game where you had to, like, there were different venues where you could make a certain amount of customers and you had to choose what venue you wanted to go to, and then you spun and you could, that told you how many customers you served.
Right.
Then there was some math involved and but it was a kind of fun
game, but it was a lot of fun. And you'll find that usually the smaller vendors will come out and say, come on, let me show you. You want to play a game, don't you? Come on, let me show you how to play it. The larger vendors, I was disappointed with this year. They saw you come to their booth and they had things on tables and they knew you were there. And they just kind of like went to the side of the booth.
They'd like look at their phone.
Oh yeah, I've got more important things to do. I wanted to know how to play the games, but they did not come over to me. It was just like, hi, and that was it. Okay, I'll just take pictures.
Why are you there if you're not going to sell your stuff?
So the people that you have man your booths, make sure they know how to play the games, and then they come and say, come on, over here, come on, you want to see this? Let me tell you all about it, the history.
Yeah, try to be pushy. This is where you have to be with like a carnival barker or whatever.
I mean, I would not know that this game was created by a child that was in this competition before.
And the variety of vendors was definitely disappointing this year.
It was.
But hopefully next year it'll be better. So definitely check out the website for chiTAG. A bunch of people get in free. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, grandparents. So educators, librarians, if you are one of those people, there's a good chance you could get in for free next year. So
I mean, a person that I thought should have come around there, I thought somebody from JoJo's Bows would have been there.
Oh, that would have been perfect. They didn't have a big guest this year, did they?
No. And you've gone to the other show in New York, which is a smaller, right? It's a smaller.
Blogger Bash?
Yeah.
I think it is smaller. I think it is a little smaller, yeah.
But there was more ability to make contacts with people, to network.
And you, not to mention, you get the big sample box, which I think is what this show should do. They should just have a sample box, everyone gets the same thing, because it can be frustrating to like ask everyone, oh, do you do blogger outreach? Because you don't want to overstep. Some of these people are independent and they don't have that sort of, they just can't do blogger outreach sort of stuff. So,
well, and they're still asking, what is that blogger outreach?
Yeah.
The big companies, it's like,
I don't want to be like do you do this? I would prefer if it's just done.
Or letting you know that this company is willing to give you a sample of something so you can do a review for it.
Right.
They tried coupons last year. Obviously that must not have worked because they didn't do them this year. So you were back to in the beginning where they didn't tell us to go get our badge or anything. They didn't even say, you want to go there next. We were walking around and no one knew who you were. And no one had their badges. It was like, well, they just let us in without badges.
Right, yeah. So if they could do like a sweet box, some sort of like big standard sample box, I would love that. It would be way less confusing than what is currently happening.
But as far as a show, it's fun to take your kids there. They can see, they can try the games, and then you can really see if they're really interested in them or not.
Yeah.
So it's a fun day for your kids.
It is
fun
a fun
for
day.
troops.
Yeah, so check it out. We'll put the link in the description area. If there's something on this table that you want to see more of, just let us know, and we will definitely add it to the to-do list. You'll definitely end up seeing the merge cube just because it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But that's about it. That's our day at chiTAG. Did you go to chiTAG? If you did, let us know what you thought of it. And yeah, just let us know in the comments.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.